Ciao, Max.
How you doing?
Good. Just a little tired, but good. Good to see you.
Have you been traveling?
Um, no, just went to Trento for one day because we basically organized a talk with some friends for like it was not really a running club, but yeah, just I guess like a
A,
group
ru-
of friends.
a running community.
Yeah, it was actually not related with running, but
Oh, nice.
running was just an excuse, but it was not actually about running, which was nice.
Yeah, that's nice for a change after
Sometimes I break the bubble.
yeah, after thinking running, doing running, talking running.
Exactly.
I would imagine it's a nice change.
Yeah, you look like you have been outside a lot.
Am I burned?
No, but you're tanned. You have a good color.
It's. I mean, technically it's not summer, but and I just spent the weekend at the desert, so
Yeah.
it's still pretty beat up and kind of tan.
What did you do?
You remember? You remember when I did the thing that I ran from
The
up north
TSP?
here? Yeah, the TSP. So a friend of mine was doing this year. So
Oh,
I went for crewing the last bit of his solo attempt.
did you make it?
He made it. Yeah, she made it.
Nice.
It was challenging, but
Of
yeah,
course.
yeah.
Good to see other people working hard and suffering.
Yeah, it's always inspiring seeing people going through the journey of like, especially as this is like a multi-day type of thing. Um,
Right.
they go through a lot. Like some days are good, some days are not that good. Nights are tough.
It reminds me of a recent discussion we had with the PTRA about pacers, because obviously it's a little bit controversial. I think some people like pacers,
Yeah,
and also it's part of the culture, especially in the US.
yeah,
And to be able to stand by someone who is doing something really hard and suffering is very beautiful. Is maybe a privilege. Is something that allows you to connect with that person very deeply.
yeah,
But we're also a little bit afraid that, with more financial incentives and prize money and such, there will be people trying to cheat and, muling or offering aid they're not supposed to offer.
yeah,
Um, so like, yeah, just trying to understand whether we want pacers, we want to get rid of pacers, whether we should, put some limitations, or
yeah,
it's very difficult because on one hand you want to preserve the tradition,
yeah,
and of course it's very nice to have a pacer to share, a 100 miler with a friend. Um, on the other hand, for the elite athletes is maybe different than from the, middle of the pack runners
yeah, yeah,
who maybe have, pacers. I think historically they have been chosen like for safety reasons mainly because you're out there in the wilderness for many hours. So obviously that's a concern, but it's less of a concern for elite athletes. So
yeah.
I don't know. It's an interesting discussion. So I wanted to know your take. Maybe you have some good
Yeah,
idea.
yeah. I remember. I think yeah. I mean, I want to say the whole topic of pacers made in breaking news. I think after Jim talked about it. I think in a pod, right, a few months ago.
Right.
And I think overall, it's always been. I mean, the thing is like it's cultural, right? Because in the U.S., it's pretty much part of the culture, as you mentioned. But then in Europe, it would be extremely weird to have one. Give me a second. I
Of
need to
course.
close the window because it's getting noisy. There you go. Sorry about that. So I totally get what you're saying. That it's, I guess to put it lightly, it's kind of delicate, right? Because you don't want to go and say like, yeah, no one should use spacers. So it's like everybody should use, because again, it's different depending on where you are. It also, it's different if you are, you know, someone who is like aiming for finishing your first 100 mile and you need maybe every single kind of help, you know, that you may have against, you know, someone who at the top of the field, you know, is just aiming to go as fast as they can, right? And of course, both of those can benefit from having someone else, even if it's only a mental thing. But I think at the end of the day, if you want to talk about elites, you know, I think it needs to come down to accepting, you know, whether we all use them or you're not. Because when it gets tricky, it's like someone uses, then someone doesn't, you know. But then, of course, if you're in the US and you have probably a bigger support group, it's also a difference if you have maybe 3-4 different pacers for, you know, one race. And if you
Yeah, of
come
course.
from Europe, you know, or let's say Asia or Australia, you know, and maybe you just travel with 1 or 2 people, you're stuck with maybe one crew and then maybe one pacer. So that's just more tricky, because it would always be some people who have more resources, or just like more people who is willing to go and help them, right?
Yeah, right. This is also a problem related with you know, resources and crew, and I think there should be some limitations for crewing as well, because I don't like that. You know, the more support, the more external support an athlete has, the more financial means a team has, the more likelihood this athlete has to compete and to place well in a race. Like that shouldn't be like a key factor for performance.
Yeah.
And I feel like it would give an unfair advantage to those who have the financial means,
Yeah.
versus to those who don't have the same possibilities. So I don't know, like UTMB, for example, allows one person inside each assisted aid station,
Yeah.
which is, you know, pretty simple, but at least it's a limitation.
It applies for everybody too. Elites
Yeah,
or
exactly.
non-elites, yeah.
I think Western states and other races, they don't have particular rules for aid
Yeah.
stations. And I heard some people complaining that, for example, in Forest Hills or other big aid stations, the situation was getting pretty messy, with like big crews and, you know, cars and traffic jams and all of that. So I think it's a good example of how, as the sport grows, so does the need for regulations and trying to avoid these gray areas where it's not clear, like, what we should do. Like, put some rules, not to be strict, not for the sake of it, but because you just want to ensure a fair competition, I think. So
Yeah.
that is my take.
Yeah, the crewing part, you know, I guess you have never used a pacer, right?
No, I've never done a race where
Yeah,
you can
like
actually use spacers.
where you can have one. Yeah, yeah. So I have. So I guess I have both experiences. And
Because the canyons for the 100K, I don't think you can use pacers. You probably can use pacers for the 100 miler.
I don't. You think so? I don't know if it's UTMB allows that. But I know, like for example, in Black Canyon 100K, you could. I think you can have a pacer for that. But like I think
Yeah.
for 100K, we should stick to no pacers. I think pacers only applies to, you know, the 100-mile distance.
And also, like, Black Canyon is an extremely fast 100K, so it makes even less sense.
Yeah, I do. I mean, I guess I do wonder of the, let's say, of the top 10 ladies and men's. they take pacers? I don't know. I think normally they wouldn't, but maybe there are a few that they take them. I don't actually know. But my point was like, as I have the experience, or almost like the privilege of having people pacing me and some of the stuff, and also having crew, I would 100% prefer having crew and no pacer than pacer and no crew. I think
Oh, for sure.
crewing it's definitely more critical. Even if you want to
Way
go,
more critical.
even
Yeah.
if you want to go fast, yeah, like crewing is the way. It just takes you a big, heavy weight of what to do when you're, especially when you're super tired, like your brain is not really working. Having someone there that just kind of reminds you that you need to take A, B, or C. You need to drink, eat, and so that's. I think for me that's definitely more in line with trying to make the most out of a run. The pacers are always
100%.
the pacers are always more like at least the way that I see them. It's, of course, I've never, I'm sure this is different if you are fighting for top 10 at Western States, but like, yeah, the few times that I have had pacers, it's more about like kind of sharing, the last bits of a race with someone you are close with, which I think it's also cool, right? But then to that point, you can also say, you could also go for an adventure run with friends, and maybe it would be similar in the way that at the end of the day, it's about sharing miles, especially something long, I guess, which kind of unlocks this, everybody gets a little bit more, I wouldn't say fragile, but like more open. So maybe you have a few deep conversations along the way and stuff like that. But yeah, other than that, yeah, it's not much that you get out of a pacer, right?
Right. Yeah, yeah, it's definitely more mental and emotional. But then, like, if you, for example, let's say you get rid of pacers for elite athletes and you still allow pacers for the rest of the field, it comes down to defining who an elite athlete is, which is tricky because
Yeah,
how do you
yeah,
define that?
yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah,
based on what? Like UTMB score, ITRA score, or I don't know. So it's actually very tricky, and
yeah, 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 yeah.
yeah, it's an interesting discussion to have.
Yeah, for sure. I think we will only talk more about this stuff as the sport continue growing. There are more people also having now an opinion, writing pieces or like doing interviews and whatnot. So yeah, I think like maybe 10 years ago, we would rarely see or hear, you know, elite athletes talking about this stuff. I mean, I'm sure that they all talked about this stuff, but more like privately, but now, just because of the nature of things, yeah, we are hearing more opinions like about where we should take these, right, in order to like, yeah, having a structure, kind of making and yeah, even field for everyone basically to have the same opportunities, and yeah, especially with money coming in, sponsorships and whatnot. Also, like for example in the ultra cycling world, some of the stuff have like very strict rules. Like you cannot even have people filming, because that could give you extra motivation for just like performing
Wow.
better. So I'm not saying we should go to that extreme, but everything is up to debate, I guess, in the way that, yeah, pacers, crew, having someone filming you around, right? I don't know. There are a few things that still need to be discussed, right? In order to hopefully arrive to a better place, right? And everybody feels like they have the same opportunities within, the end of this spectrum, I guess. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, it's not like the situation is bad, but I think before it gets out of control, we need to somehow address the problem. So that is
Yeah.
my conclusion.
Is the talks that you're having with the PTRO like coming to a conclusion, or is more like an internal thing
No,
that?
it's just a discussion that came up this week,
Okay.
which of course sparked some debate, which is great because that's exactly the place where you want to be having these
Yeah.
conversations. So
Yeah.
yeah, but we haven't taken a public stance yet. We might in the future, but not yet.
Yeah.
Cool. So how was your Spotify Wrapped before we do a trail running Strava running 2025 wrap?
So I was gonna say two things. One, like the end of the year is coming, and like the recaps are coming when people start posting their Spotify things. It's becoming a thing now, right? Like almost, I want to say like
I think
80% of.
Spotify is always the first, and then everyone
But
comes
I think
after.
Strava also has this thing already. I haven't checked mine, but I think Strava also released the.
I think it gave access to the year in review for like premium users.
Okay. Yeah.
And then like after 5 days, they release the year in sport for all
For
users.
everyone. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's that time of the year, right? Which is kind of crazy because another year goes by super fast. But then on the Spotify thing, so I have a Spotify and I use them, but it's not my primarily music. Music provider. I use Apple Music and Apple Podcasts.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I don't. I'm sorry to share that. Yeah, I don't. I guess I could do it, but I won't be accurate because that's not the thing that I'm using.
Right.
Yeah, I
Right.
have all of my playlists and like I hear the podcast in Apple Podcasts. So yeah, nothing extremely funny because I also noticed like people were sharing like their age. Like the age that you represent by the music that you hear. So yeah, that doesn't go with me.
Yeah, but my age is like 74. But I
Most of
wonder whether like because I'm not sure it's related with the kind of music that you listen or like when the songs or like album
yeah.
that you listen to was released, or I don't know, because like I listen to a lot of classical music, so I should be like 250 years old.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like in that, I guess, 60 to 70 age group, like
Most
the
of
baby
the
boomers,
most of the ones that
or
I've
50
seen,
actually.
almost I want to say almost everybody who have shared theirs in stories, I've seen 50 plus age. Uh, so it doesn't
I'm not
surprise me.
into K-pop yet.
Yeah, no, I mean I wouldn't even know what's the trend now. So I'm sure like if I had mine, I would also be 60 plus, age for sure. I don't think I listen to anything new. I want to say
If you had to make your trail running 2025 wrap, what would it be like?
Tough one, huh? Yeah, actually, I've seen a couple of people, especially now. There's so many content creators that they are manually doing wraps, about their years, and I've seen a couple of the biking world and the trail running, and they were, yeah. I mean, I think it would be a combination of like, probably the stats, like the thing that you get from Strava, which is like, how many hours you did, all the elevation gain, right? Then I think I haven't checked my Strava yet, but I think they also give you like the longest activity that you have done, right? So
The most kudos
yeah, I
activity.
mean the one that gets the most kudos to a few PRs, or a few
Yeah.
KOMs if you have them. So yeah, I think technically it would be a combination of all of that, but then also, yeah, I mean,
Or like, let's say so instead of the music artists, who are the top 5 athletes that you enjoyed
yeah,
following on social media, and then of course maybe in person, like at races
yeah,
in 2025? Who are you excited about right now?
Yeah. I mean, I guess the more obvious one, right? And this will come from close, but like it's you would be definitely one, right? We have talked a few times already this year, recorded podcast, but I mean, your year has been a while, right? Just like from February and on, everything that you have done, it's been extremely inspiring. So I've been following along as probably a lot of people too. I think last time also we talked, or one of the previous podcasts, I was very much into what you did with the mini YouTube series that you did. Right? I think that we do need more of that stuff in our world, right? If I can shout out, I'm also actually wearing
Oh, the Boulder Boys.
the Boulder Boys T-shirt. The thing they did with a set for Western States. I want to say that's probably one of my favorite YouTube videos of the year. I don't know if you watched that one. I really like the style of that one.
Yeah.
A little bit different from, I guess, the normal
Yeah, the visual.
blog type. I think this had like a different vibe, which I really like it. And of course, as you know, people in person, as I know you, and I know the boys, it just makes it more special, I guess. But there are two already big things that I was rooting for this year. Then of course it can go a year without being inspired by this I think Killing Your Net dude, it's called, and everything that he does. I feel like what he did this year was so over the moon that I wasn't even able to wrap my head around it.
I think it went a little bit unnoticed, not unnoticed, but under the radars at least.
It's just it's too long. It's too extreme. It's
Yeah.
like it's hard to comprehend. And even though, of course, it got a lot of press, I guess mostly because of the biking in between, and all of these headlines of like, he ran. It's hard to compute the mileage, and like being 30 plus days out there. But again, as someone, and this is more personal, I think, as someone who really likes this idea of linking stuff, overall, like using the bike, and also just like maybe taking not the most obvious route to things. From that point of view, it's always inspiring to me what he does. But then, I agree. I do feel like it's hard to also make it relatable to people because it's just like too insane, to be honest. Like people see race results, right? And I think people can relate to that because they train for a race. I don't know, they take however 3-5 months to train for a goal. They do the race, and I think we all can relate to this sensation of like crossing a finish line, right? But not a lot of people can relate to just being a month plus, out there and summiting the last peak, and finish this massive project. So it's from the storytelling point of view, it's definitely a hard pitch, I guess.
Yeah.
But then again, I think
Also because it's so long, like it requires attention for a very long time span.
yeah.
So yeah, it's not like a headline.
Yeah, but
But yeah, the blog post that he wrote is absolutely insane, and it's so detailed, like very, very Killian style.
yeah,
It goes like into very precise details of what he did on
Yeah.
each day,
yeah.
and like the nutrition, the sleep, the cycling, the climbing, the weather, how he felt. It's nuts.
It's insane. It's insane for sure. So and then moving on, I think I got three, so I need to know the two. I think also something that I think again for us it may be incredible, but I don't know if people also realize how incredible it actually was. Is Katie, going. Well, in the end, he ended up being top two because of what happened, right? Because he got third technically, but then, with the thing, got Mohammed second, and then doubling down after what he did too within the span of 2 months, basically, right? That's also something that for me it's on the level of there is only a few people that have that range, basically, that they can. They can go and do something like hard rock, and then 4 weeks after, I want to say, 4 to 5 weeks after, go and run what's probably the most competitive, 30K trailers on the planet. So yeah, I don't think there's many people who are actually able to do that. And yeah, of course, he's been doing amazing for many years now.
Yeah.
But then again, getting back to the point that I was saying to Killian. For me, it's very easy to consider that to be incredible because again, I can relate to the fact of finishing. I haven't done hard rock, but like having finishing something like that, and then I know Sierra Sinai is just like insanely fast, So again, having that thing under your legs, it's pretty incredible for sure.
Oh.
Then what else we have? I think I also, I want to shout out Ruth. I think with UTMB, I think we all know Ruth is extremely strong. She's been performing incredible for many years now, but she's been kind of under the quote unquote shadow, right, of maybe Courtney and Katie. So she hadn't like nailed this big one, even though she has an incredible resume. I think what she did last year was already incredible. So coming back and doubling down and say like, okay, I really want to nail this down. It's something that it's after you have done a lot, it feels like you have to be extremely motivated and mentally tough to endure and say like, okay, I want to commit to this. I will do it, and I will do it my way, right? I will just stick to my plan, right? So I don't care about. I mean, I guess they had splits, right? But she just knew what she was capable of, right? And she went and she executed, right? And she got the big one. So also shout out to her. Again, super happy that she was able to finish that at UTMB. And then I guess as it is every 2 years, right? And I think we all may have different takes on Worlds, but I think from afar, at least for me, and I've been following the sport for almost 15 years now, I guess this was the first year that I was paying so much attention to it. And of course, we already talked too about the quality of the live stream and just like how, at least from afar, right? Not talking about maybe how things operate internally, right? Just as a spectator, it just looked like a cool course, that's proper mountain running for me, right? So it was amazing seeing you, right, and seeing Jim, and then of course everybody else just tackling this one, all in, right? And the Frenchies just like saving their legs, not being able to run UTMB to go and perform here. Then again, strictly from a spectator point of view, I think it was cool to follow, and I'm kind of looking forward for South Africa now in 2 years.
Yeah, I think it also proves how essential the live stream has become for these big races, for people to be able to follow, for fans to connect. And I think for Canfranc and their mountains, it was the best chance to be highlighted. I think lots of people discover the beauty of that place through the live stream, through the beautiful images of the race. And I think maybe what the organization lacked in terms of, like, it wasn't perfect from an athlete standpoint. Many reasons, maybe less budget than Innsbruck. Obviously, Canfranc is a much smaller venue than Innsbruck also. But what we lacked from a logistic organization standpoint, we made up for a beautiful course that left everyone astonished, I think. And it was technical, it was challenging, a lot of vert, but it was just extremely beautiful to run and to watch. So, and funny enough, today Iron Far posted an article with a few quotes from myself and Katie Scheid and Andy Simmons. on how the World Championship as an event has grown and how it's positioned compared to, you know, other important event of our sport like UTMB or Western States or the circuits. And it's pretty interesting because it draws the trajectory of the event and the history, and it proves that from an event that was maybe not at the top of the sport, now it's much more highlighted and considered. So it's pretty interesting for people to go have a read, I think.
Yeah, I agree. Again, the only, I guess, sad thing, it's like probably starting 2026, you know, you kind of start losing the sense of like, oh yeah, Worlds, because again, it will be another almost 2 years until it happen again. So it's like, again, as the sport is continuing growing, you know, races popping, and then like, momentum shifting, I guess, you know, maybe 1 year is like Western States, and then the other could be UTMB, and maybe a different race, right? So,
But then I think it gives more, there's more weight and gives more importance to the 2027 edition, I think. So it's, obviously every opportunity that you miss and every spot that you leave empty, someone will take it. So on one hand, it feels like a missed opportunity. On the other hand, it's like we're already looking forward to 2027. And it's also a huge effort to organize a world championship and it's not like a normal race, a commercial event or whatever, independent event. It's much different when federations are involved and really it's the only truly international event where everybody, no matter where they come from, has the same opportunity to compete. That's one reason, is that the event and the participation is funded by World Athletics, by the organization, by the federations, basically. So you don't necessarily need to have the financial means to be able to travel to the event and to compete. But if you are a good athlete, you get the opportunity. So I think this is not to be taken for granted.
Yeah, I agree. Let's go with your 5 now.
Yeah, so, well, I think gym makes my top 3 for sure. Is probably at the top. Just because even without Western States that he was supposed to race, but that he didn't race because of an injury that he picked up after Chianti, he still had an amazing season. He was undefeated. He became world champion. I think he also achieved like the highest UTMB score ever recorded at Chianti. It was like 972. And then he was injured, which is a huge deal for an athlete. Like his season could have gone completely sideways, but he managed to do what he needed to do, get healthy again throughout the summer. He won OCC, just like, let's do OCC, and he won.
That was fun to follow, by the way. One of the best. Yeah.
It was a lot of fun,
One of the best
even with the course change. And then he won the World Championship in an absolutely dominant fashion. So for me, I mean, is clearly the trail runner of the year. Not that we needed a confirmation of his value as an athlete, but it was pretty incredible. And I'm also pretty excited for Caleb Olson. who had an incredible race at Western State. I saw him running at Transgran Canaria.
Yeah.
We were actually hiking together at Worlds when, for different reasons, our races didn't go as we wanted.
Yeah.
Caleb ended up dropping out, and I decided to continue because I was just having cramps, and I knew I wasn't putting my health at risk. But it was like a meaningful moment for me to share a few minutes with Caleb and just try to talk to him and say, hey, what do we do? Like, it was a little bit surreal, I guess, because like we were there for racing and obviously for trying to win the race, and we were walking and talking to each other. So, but it was, I think I will remember that moment for a long time. And
then like he managed to turn the page and went to GPT, right? And just
he went to GPT in Australia, right? Yeah, that looks like a pretty technical 100-miler.
Super technical, I have had that race in my radar for a while, but I think Caleb being there this year, he made a lot of content around the race, and so I was able to watch more of it and see pictures, and I think it's super, super tough.
Yeah. I also really enjoy following Caleb on Substack. He has a great Substack, and he's one of the most consistent. Like, quite a few athletes now have a Substack, but not many of them, including myself, are very consistent with it. Like, I post, three or four articles a year, just whenever I feel like, whenever I have time.
Yeah.
But he usually posts maybe every couple of weeks, and he has very interesting reflections and thoughts, not only about his own experience and races, but about the dynamics within our sport and issues that we're facing as a community or just anything. And I really enjoy reading his posts.
Yeah, it was plus one to that one. It's easy follow.
Yeah, for sure.
In a good sense, it has an opinion and he's like voicing it out, and he also writes well. So it's always a pleasure, right? When you can just like read long form, right? I think we all, of course, are most of the time spending time in Strava or Instagram, which is like pictures, videos, reels, and short descriptions. So it's nice for a change to switch modes and take 10 minutes to read like a piece. So also a shout out to Caleb for keeping up his writing.
Yeah, exactly. Like as far as storytelling and content, I'm excited about athletes working on their YouTube channels or their Substack and this kind of like long form content that allows you to really go a lot deeper inside a certain topic, or like get to know the athlete much better than you would on Instagram or Facebook or other social media. So it's quite interesting. Of course, it requires quite a lot of time and sometimes resources. For example, YouTube, it's not easy, but it's great to see more athletes doing that, and I enjoy following. Like, for example, another athlete that I really enjoy following on YouTube is Hans Troyer. He's just won JFK with a very extremely fast time.
Second fastest time ever, right? Yeah.
Right. Only David Sinclair ran faster, but it was like faster than Jim or faster than Hayden Knox or Adam Peterman. And I think his video, he basically became famous after Canyons when he posted a video in collaboration with his sponsor, Ultra, a documentary called The Kid. And I don't know, to me it's a little bit controversial because like it shows him. Uh, I mean, it's not exactly the type of storytelling that I enjoy, and I also I also sent a message to Hans, expressing my opinion, and we had a very honest chat about that.
Nice.
But obviously, it was very like it became almost viral. I think I don't remember how many views it has, but
A million, I think, I want to say.
like a million views or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, yeah, definitely crazy.
Yeah, and then he went on to Western States. He was eighth, and then he won JFK. So he's had a great season, and he's young. He's brave. He's new to the sport. Is like part of this new generation. Maybe to some people he might look a little bit arrogant sometimes. I think if you start to know him
Better.
well, you understand that he's actually very grounded. But yeah, it's a character. I enjoy following Hans,
Yeah.
and I'd like to see more of that type of content and approach to the sport. That sometimes it looks a little bit aggressive,
Yeah.
but I think that's exactly what we need
Yeah.
to grow to the next level.
Yeah, yeah. I agree. I haven't watched actually that one, but it's been on my watch list for a while.
Yeah.
But I've heard the comments. Yeah.
Yeah. Still, I think it's great. I mean, my opinion is just mine, and what really matters is that he's putting himself out there and trying, both with competitions and also content.
Yeah, and it's backing up with results, so it's not like
Yeah, of course,
So
of
because
course.
one thing is like putting everything out there, but then not maybe I guess performing as you think that you are performing, but then yeah, like the kid can definitely run.
Yeah, yeah, and yeah. Obviously, I'm also very excited about Katie. She's had another incredible year, and her versatility is unmatched, and also I think she's really smart. Like,
Yeah.
you can truly feel like she has a very like an uncommon type of intelligence, both like emotional intelligence, I think, tactical intelligence during races, and she's like very in tune with her body, and very aware of like her own motivation, like of the different dynamics that influence her life as an athlete, I think. So I really enjoy following Katie, and of course she backs everything up with amazing results. So
Yeah.
yeah. And who else do I have? Well, I do want to mention like the performance of the year for me is Tovi Alexanderson at the World Champs in the short trail. That was insane,
Yeah.
like totally insane. Um, and I don't know, she's a beast. She's amazing.
Did
Now
she?
she's skiing, and
Uh, did she ever talk about it after on a pod or something, and then I may have missed it? I don't. Did you
I don't
talk?
think so.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
She's pretty introvert, which obviously, yeah, you kind of imagine from like her character. But it would be fun to try to have a conversation with her.
Right. Yeah. 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 Because
Yeah,
if it feels like is she just puts all of her eggs in one basket, and then like she went full,
exactly.
and then like she crushed it. Like I guess no. My point being, of course, she knew that she was strong, and I think we all knew that she ran a race, on the course. So she was dialed for sure. Like she knew what she needed to do and everything. But I just wonder, was she expecting it to be that? good, or maybe she just had one of those very very rare days that just like everything clicks beyond what you think that you can do, and yeah, that was what we saw out there. I don't know.
Yeah, I think many factors definitely aligned on the right day, but still you have to be able to do it. So it was very cool to see for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I also
Yeah,
had
and I
it in
would
my
love to understand more behind it.
yeah, no, I was also wanted to have that in my top five, but I guess I missed it. But yeah, no, I plus one to that one. Incredible, incredible run from
Yeah,
her.
yeah, she's not an athlete who is like necessarily extremely consistent throughout the year. She tends to race not as often as other athletes.
Yeah,
So I don't know, like for all the like the runner of the year, the Troy or whatever,
yeah,
you tend to reward the consistency and also maybe the versatility across different distances.
yeah,
Um, I just wanted to mention it because to me that is the performance of the year for women's for
yeah.
sure.
No, I 100% agree. Yeah, yeah,
And then yeah, there's actually so many athletes worth mentioning. I mean, it's hard not to mention Tom Evans, for example, for his UTMB after two DNFs.
yeah.
It takes a lot of courage to go back and try again. So he may not have had like a crazy season, but he showed up at the right time and he executed.
And he's
And
running this weekend, right?
he's supposed to run the Valencia Marathon,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So both him and Corny are actually running
In
two
CIM, right?
marathons. Like
Yeah, yeah,
Corny, she's running CIM in Sacramento,
yeah,
and yeah, and Tom is running the Valencia Marathon, I think.
yeah, yeah. That will be exciting to follow.
That would be exciting to follow, yeah, because there's quite a lot of people running actually. Like also, Gloria's brother, he's running
Nice,
is trying to break 2:30
nice.
in the marathon, and I'm also very excited by Alex He,
Alex, yeah. Oh,
the triathlete.
I've been following a
He
lot
also
of
did
the.
a vlog, like a YouTube
Yeah,
series of
yeah.
videos with, like leading up to the race,
Yes, yes.
which was fun to follow.
Yeah,
Something that Tom also did for UTMB. So good content. I'm excited for YouTube.
yeah. Then yeah, we don't know, of course, like how will Tom do, but yeah, it will be quite because also, and we can also include this in the wrap. You know, I feel like every year there is like these trends. You know, when it comes to training. You know, maybe I want to say, yeah, the last maybe 2 years has been like high carbs and everything. Maybe this year and like part of last year, heat training was the whole rage.
Yeah.
And then with Tom and Rude, the whole thing about the weight thing, like just like the weighted vest or whatever you want to call it, right? For just
Hmm.
like developing the legs and muscles to do something like run well at UTMB. So yeah, curious to see if that will pick up for next year. But I don't know. My point was like winning UTMB and then yeah 3.5 months after doing something like Valencia, right? Which is as flat as it can be, right? Like maybe
Right.
one of the fastest scores out there, on the marathon circuit. So yeah, very intrigued about and of course we know that Tom has that raw speed, so it's not like it's a hiker, So
Yeah.
it wouldn't surprise me if he does an incredible time. But it's still like he spent probably the better part of a year training for a hike around the Mont Blanc, and I know it's not a hike, but like you could call it like that on this context. And then yeah, switching to Valencia. So yeah, I'm excited to see what he's able to do.
Yeah. I mean, he definitely mentioned that he needed to learn how to hike efficiently.
Yeah,
So going from that to the marathon speed and effort is a completely different game, and it shows his versatility and the fact that even to be able to compete at boat races at extremely high level, it takes an incredible athlete.
yeah,
That's it.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I on a different note, but still something that I want to ask you and maybe highlight myself. What would you think would be something that maybe wasn't as good as, or like kind of not taking the negative, but like something that you thought that could have been done better, or like something that you would have expected more out of it? Do you have anything on your mind that maybe happened this year that it wasn't up to your expectations?
Yeah. Um, I mean, I think in general, my feeling is that the Golden Trail series is losing a little bit of interest and traction, even among the athletes, not also the fans. And I would like to see the series be as popular as it used to be maybe 3 or 4 years ago. Where like I mean, at least to me, it felt like all the short distance athletes were there, and the series had the most competitive short distance races and those like super high iconic event like Zagama, the Dolomites Run, the Marathon du Mont Blanc,
Yeah.
and now it feels like it has deviated from that original idea of
Iconic
making a
races.
series with the like six most iconic races of the calendar. Um, and I think that is a little bit of a missed opportunity because we absolutely need a circuit for short distance athletes besides UTMB. But obviously UTMB only goes from 50K above.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, it definitely didn't live up to my expectations that I had for this year, and I'm not sure how it will continue to grow and how it will look like in the future. But yeah, I hope it can regain some traction.
Yeah, that's a great point, and actually, it was my same. I have the same opinion on it. I think out of all of the last 5 6 years, this felt like the one that I have been paying the least attention to it.
Yeah,
And I'm sure like it's been on the content side too. Things have changed too. All other circuits, races, of course, UTMB has been catching up with content around it too, and the live stream itself, which is one of the things that I guess you
yeah,
always remember, right, about these things. So yeah, I'm also very very curious to see how these things will play out. I don't know also if you have checked, um, well, like the Mont Blanc Marathon being now, a big part of the New Balance strategy. Then like the
yeah.
recent announcements of ACG, taking over Broken Arrow, and then
Oh yeah, that's exciting.
Gorge. So I'm just curious because it feels like we have UTMB here, right, with everything that represents, and then all of the iconic races or the ones that want to become iconic are just being grabbed by brands. I mean, and it makes sense, right? Because there's again races that are iconic, so they will always have people and interest around them. So again, I'm just curious to see how these things will play out because it feels like the big brands are coming and
Yeah,
they want to have something in the space, right? Uh,
yeah. For example, Nike for the first time is seriously investing in trail running and in events in particular,
yeah,
and they never did that before the announcements they made with Gorge and Broken Arrow. So
yeah,
that's very exciting.
yeah,
Like, definitely there is more interest, more money, more people coming to the sport, and it's exciting. In general, I think trail running is at an exciting point and is pretty healthy in general. Of course, not everything is perfect, but I feel positive for the future, and yeah, I think we are on a good trajectory.
yeah. I think the next years are gonna be wild, to be honest, because of, again, money is coming. And also technology, I think, will play a bigger factor too
Yeah,
overall. Not just with what we do, for example, at Verb, but then there's other innovations around the space. Gear wise too, we have been moving quickly the past 2 years. Like, everything is just like going maybe 2-3x, in comparison to, let's say, 2015 to 2020. It feels like the last 2 years we have moved forward way faster. And then overall now, just like seeing people out there on the trails, there are so many people out there. And I know that it's not like every race has been filling up, but 10 years ago it was hard to say to someone, hey, yeah, I do trails, and like now you don't need to say much, and like everyone wants to know if you have done UTMB or whatever. Like even, I don't know, Marathon des Sables or whatever, they kept having their heads about what ultra running is. But I think we are definitely in a very interesting point in our sport, and it's only going to get wilder for at least for the next years, I think.
Yeah, it's a good time to be in the sport.
Yeah. All right. I think we have covered a lot. Last thing, are you already back training?
I am so back. Yeah, it's been a while. The base training block is basically complete. Now I have transitioned into my VO₂max speed block that I always do during the winter before my training gets more specific for the races. Yeah. I haven't announced my calendar yet, but obviously a lot of people know that my big goal for 2026 will be Western States.
Yeah.
I'm not training with Western States in my mind, but obviously it's on the horizon. Okay. And I've been doing a few workouts on the track, and I will be jumping in a road 5K race on Sunday.
This Sunday?
It's been a while since I did Sunday. It's been a while since I did a road race. So
where, in Milan?
In Como.
Nice.
On the lake.
Nice. Flat?
It's pretty flat, not extremely fast, but I'm curious to see what I can do, and it will be a fun and painful short experience.
Nice. But then, so we will hear about your calendar soon, I imagine. Do you already have the first trail race in your mind for next season?
I do. Yeah, nice. I do. But I want to wait until the time. I want to wait until I properly announce it.
No, yeah, that's good. I think everybody will be following you along. I'm sure that there's a lot of expectation already for what you will be able to do at Western States. So I'm sure we will have a few parts around that. So yeah, exciting year ahead for sure.
Okay, looking forward to catching up with you soon.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Max.
Yeah, have a good one.
You too. Ciao.
Ciao.